welcome to this week's edition of Behind the Music for Daily Hope. Usually when I meet with you, I am sitting at the console, often of the organ, sometimes at the piano, but today I wanted to talk to you a little bit about some experiences that I had last week. And since I don't need to be playing at a keyboard, I thought we'd try something different. So, always great to be joining you. This previous week, I had the opportunity to go to Tennessee, to my alma mater, and take part in a chamber music festival. This was an opportunity for string players from all over to come together. There was an orchestra, and then they would have these smaller sessions where you would have groups of 2, 3, 4, 5, and then a few pianists, myself included, were able to go, and we would get to play some string trios, some string quartets, some string quintets. And it was just all day long, playing music from sunrise until after sunset. It was just really a fantastic experience. I was so excited to be able to be a part of that. And it got me to thinking, this week at Victory, we're focusing on Christian giving. Now, the emphasis that Paul is using in 2 Corinthians is talking about financial giving. But I wanted to expand that a little bit in the context of what I was able to experience this last week, to just giving of our time and our talents and our resources. I was back at my alma mater, and the person who organizes this event, that's been going on for 24 years, is the daughter of my college professor. So he was also there. He principally a pianist. He was teaching me piano when I was in college, but also a violist. So he was playing viola. He was also playing piano occasionally. And then in the mornings, he would give devotions. And it really took me back to my undergrad years when I'd be in piano lessons and we'd be talking about a musical concept or something, and Dr. Ashton would reach to his bookshelf and pull off a book, and he would flip through and he would read me a passage, read me a poem, read me something to give context to this concept that we were talking about. One of the devotions, he was reading a poem by Amy Carmichael, and I remember how he had turned me onto her writings when I was in college. If you haven't read her books or her poems, I would definitely recommend Amy Carmichael. So I was thinking about that. He went above and beyond. It wasn't about giving every student exactly the same thing. The Apostle Paul talks about for it to be equitable, equality, right? And so equality doesn't mean in this context that every student got the same exact lesson. It meant that he tried to give every student what they needed. That was what being equitable meant. If some people needed more and some people needed less, those who had more gave to the others, and that's how we were able to all do better, right? If you know some, you share it. And that happened in the Chamber Music Festival as well. There were sometimes I was in groups where they were really high-level professional players, and so we would look to the person who was, the principal violinist to say, okay, this is what the tempo needs to be, this is how we're going to do it. There were some times where I was in a group where there were young students. They hadn't ever done this before. They hadn't played in a chamber setting, and so I would explain to them, okay, let's see, we're going to count in, and this is the tempo that we're going to do, and that sort of thing. And so when I knew more, I shared more. When somebody who knew more than me, they shared, and I was able to learn. And it was just this give and take, and the goal of equality, just trying to make it the best experience possible for everybody. So this was a great time for me. I have some pictures to show you just to give you a little treat into what I was doing. And also this week at Victory, I'm going to play a piece for you on the organ. If you tune in to worship this weekend, I'm going to play you a piece by Bach, "Oh Hail This Brightest Day of Days." Now, this was a piece that I learned when I was an undergrad, also studying organ. So not only did my piano professor give extra time to help me develop as a well-rounded human being, not just as a pianist, my organ teacher also went above and beyond. Judy Glass, she took the time to really encourage me to study organ. I was a pianist when I went to college, and so she really shared extra reasons why I should go into this great instrument and learn and help me get up to par with the other organists. And so I'm indebted to these people who gave of their resources, their time, and their talents. And I'm sure you all have similar stories of people who have given to help you get to where you are in life. So while I was back on the campus, I was able to slip away from the piano sometimes and go and practice on some of the organs from when I was a student there. And so there's a little clip I'm going to play for you at the end of this at the organ in Collegedale, Tennessee, John Brombaugh Instrument. This is where I first learned to be an organist, and playing this great piece. There's a really cool stop. You'll hear it. It kind of sounds like bells, and it's called the Glockenspiel. So this week, as we think about giving of our talents and our resources, I hope you enjoy this little clip from when I got to visit my alma mater, and I look forward to being with you again next week.